You answer that question.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
And conquer we must when our cause it is just, and this be our motto: in God we trust.
Ground floor up, I can help you find. You're a dreamer, call me when you're Bieber. And when they play it, you can't help but sing along. That's nothing odd, that's nothing wrong. 'Cause a good song never dies. It just reminds you of where you were the first time it made you cry, the first time you felt alive. No good song never. No good song never.
All right, we are set to go. The first game of our Bot Ball Friday, and it begins in Los Angeles. The Angels and the Yankees with Tim Moore, I'm Aiden Blank. Tim, a great day for baseball, and the Yankees, who struggled in that series with Minnesota, losing 2 of 3, are set to go on an overcast night here at Angel Stadium of Anaheim.
And by the way, the Angels as well, struggling to this point in the season as well, and having a below 500 record. You know, the Yankees, big thing about Minnesota is obviously, Minnesota, one of the top teams in baseball right now, they weren't finding productive offense. The Yankees here facing Shohei Ohtani are going to have to turn it around on the road and start finding those bats, because since the Aroldis Chapman injury, it seems like they've really gone dry.
Shohei Ohtani gets the ball for Los Angeles. We've talked about it before the game. He's only 1-1, so the Angels have really struggled offensively, and Ohtani's got his work cut out for him. He'll be opposed by Jordan Montgomery, but we are set to go. Ohtani's ready, LeMahieu's ready. Let's do it on what would have been a late Friday night. Instead, it's an early Friday afternoon here in Anaheim. Ball 1 to the Yankee slugger.
And I'll tell you, DJ LeMahieu, he swung the bat pretty well, as well as the entirety of the top of the lineup for the Yankees. He's one of the bats that actually haven't cooled down to this point.
344 average, swing and a miss on an inside pitch, count evened out. 10 home runs, 34 RBIs. He is, again, one of the Yankees that has stayed hot this entire season so far.
You know, when you look at DJ, he's going to have his fair share of strikeouts too, but he's so good at putting the ball in play.
Tim, my screen froze. Can you still see the game?
Indeed.
All right, well, you could take play-by-play while my screen kind of loads here.
It'll be a 2-2 from Ohtani's swing, and a miss gets LeMahieu down on strikes for the first out.
Okay, so it just caught back up. But yeah, LeMahieu gone on strikes, and we may have jinxed him. A good crowd, though. Look at that crowd on hand in Anaheim. The Yankees usually draw well on the road, no matter where they play.
Indeed, it's not just that. You're looking at 2 major cities, especially that love the game of baseball.
So DJ down on strikes, and now it's Gleyber Torres. He's been pretty good, too. 308 with 10 doubles and 16 home runs, along with 42 RBIs and 62 hits. That's second on the team.
Yeah, I would look out for Gleyber. He's been the hot bat for the Yankees. He's hit home runs now 2 consecutive games in a row against the Minnesota Twins especially.
2-0 pitch. Inside, taken to left, and played. Caught by B.J. Upton for out number 2, rather.
And Gleyber tried to turn on it, jammed a little bit inside, and now it will be Judge who steps up to the plate. And one thing I'm noticing a lot, Aiden, Judge this year batting a lot better against righties compared to left-handers. You have Giancarlo Stanton, who sits on deck, who's batting a miraculous .450 against left-handed hitters, but yet his power numbers are against the right-handers.
Judge had a quiet series against Minnesota. He was one of the bats that came in very hot and left very cold. He takes ball 1. You saw he won the Silver Slugger Award in 2017. He still has 11 home runs, which, again, for a guy like him, is very low compared to the numbers he's put up at this point of the season the last few years. It's a very low number, and he has struggled, but he certainly has not been a dud. He's still batting third and still in the major leagues, so in reality, 11 home runs, about average for him so far.
Indeed, you'll take batting average anyways, I think, over the home runs for Judge. Above a 300 to this point. In fact, at a 319. I mean, that's a pretty solid average for someone that's labeled as a power hitter, to say the least.
2-1 pitch. 2-2. The Japanese Babe Ruth is what the Angels fans are calling Shohei Ohtani. And we'll have to see. Only time will tell if that cannot really be true. A little early in his career. But again, I think it's the hope that they take as he strikes out Judge and gets a 1-2-3 first. Yankees coming up on a late night in Anaheim. Back from Los Angeles, the Yankees and Angels first of 3 this weekend. Jordan Montgomery making his 12th start of the season. Tim, what can you tell us about him?
Well, when you look at Jordan Montgomery, I mean, a left-handed pitcher who is very effective. Again, you look at that 6-4 start through 11 games. One thing about Jordan Montgomery, he's trying to find that control back again, since he's had that Tommy John surgery about a year ago. Coming back, he's trying to find control. Only got 2 outings and didn't get a single win back in the last season. But he has a lot of dominant stuff. Something that the Yankees really utilize, especially with a lot of starting pitcher injuries, as the first pitch is in there to La Stella for a strike.
Despite the abysmal series they just had at home, the Yankees are still in first place in the American League East at 35-22. Again, they lost 2 of 3 to now the American League Central leading Minnesota Twins. Ball and a strike to Tommy La Stella. It's La Stella, Fletcher, and Trout. And he cuts and misses, now 1-2.
This is a good lineup to face for Montgomery. Not a lot of hitters hitting above 300 compared to last series of the Twins.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The count evened out on La Stella, 283. We talked about the offense being quiet, especially without Ohtani in the lineup. It's really Trout and Rendon that are the 2 big names, and only 2 Angels are hitting over 300.
And, they're trying to find their power surge a little bit. They still have Albert Pujols, who is the DH, up in the 5th slot. But as we know, Pujols is continuing to regress as he gets older and older. Wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be much changes throughout the season.
Well, Stella cuts and misses on a breaking ball, and the first out of the inning is recorded. Montgomery gets a good start. Both pitchers have been very effective. Nobody has reached base on either side.
That was a good fastball right there. Made him go out and reach for it to try to defend. This is what Montgomery is, Aiden. He really likes to hit the left and right sides of the strike zone. Not necessarily a blow-it-by-you type of pitcher, but almost kind of reminds me a little bit of like Andy Pettit. He just loves to hit the corners.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Hits it again, and now the count 1-1. A pair of pitches that have been a little lower than he would have liked, but he's gotten at least one of them for a strike on the ground, and he snags it for an easy put out, and 2 down here in the first.
I'll tell you right there, I was surprised he went back to the changeup after missing on first pitch, but he ended up getting a little tap out right back to him. Now he's going to face probably his hardest out all day long, a Mike Trout, who is having a better year than every single player in Major League Baseball.
Trout is hitting .376, and we're in the month of May. That's pretty impressive. The slugger swings and misses on a pitch he would have loved to have back. His 9th season in professional baseball. That'll make me feel old, Tim. I'm not going to lie. Because I remember when him and Harper were both rookies. In fact, I remember watching Harper's video of hitting the back of the wall at Tropicana Field in a high school home run derby. So I remember hearing about him before he was in the major leagues, and now they've both been playing for about 9 seasons.
Well, there's that too, and I'm older, a little bit older than you, back in 1998. I remember when Steven Strasburg was the big deal coming up through the national system as well. And he's been here for a long time, too.
3-1, and he walks Trout. Maybe the wise decision not to pitch to him early in the game. A runner on base for the Angels, it is their first, and that's going to bring up Anthony Rendon. Trout and Rendon, a very good 1-2 punch. I think that was the motive behind that trade that the Angels made in the offseason, the blockbuster trade, that hopefully will get them some big wins this year.
Rendon is a very strong bat, to say the least. 285 start is...
A line out to third, Andujar's got it, and we're on to the second. Trout reaches, nobody else does. Yankees coming to bat here on MLBotball.com.
It's a great snag there by Andujar there to end the inning. He's had his offensive woes to open up the season, Aiden, but making some defensive plays, something that was highly criticized of him throughout his early career.
A tough heart of the order for Ohtani to face, and it begins with Stanton. It'll be Stanton, Andujar, and Voit. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Yankees here in the second. Inside pitch, strike one. Stanton was ice cold too. We talked about the slow start that Judge had in that Minnesota series. Stanton and Judge, the two power hitters on this squad, neither one of them were really doing anything noteworthy. Now down in the count 0-2.
Yeah, Stanton in the second game of the series hit a go-ahead home run the bottom of the eighth, which ended up not sticking. Gleyber Torres would end up hitting a walk-off home run in the ninth. And then yesterday, only an RBI single.
Stanton swings and misses at a breaking ball outside. It is Ohtani's third strikeout. He is starting to get a move. You really want to break his mojo and get a base runner early in this inning.
Ohtani, the way the year's gone for him, only a 2-1 record, but that's because he hasn't really had a lot of run support. So I expect this to be a pretty decent pitching duel in a low-scoring game if the Yankees yet again can't find their bats.
The Yankees gave up 8 in the series finale yesterday against Minnesota. Ball and a strike now to the third baseman, hitting in the 5 spot. And Andujar's been a good addition to this order. He's hitting .218. So a slow start, but he's a good bat to have in that 5-hole.
Well, you have to remember, he's still getting back in rhythm from his injury last season. So it's going to take some time as well.
Tried to change him up, and the ball's hit foul. Ohtani only with 20 pitches in. We're almost through the second inning, so he is starting to really work. You're going to need to try and mess up his mojo. A breaking ball in for strike 3. And Ohtani has his 4th strikeout, his 3rd in a row dating back to last inning.
Yeah, Ohtani, again, going with the breaker, just put it right over the outside corner. He is living right now in that outside corner, to say the least. In fact, every single strikeout has come in that location to this point.
He struck out 5, he's faced 6, and a strike to the 6th hitter, Luke Voit.
Yeah, I'm wondering right now, because the show doesn't really show these stats, but I'm wondering what the Yankees' average looks like in the first 5 innings this season. Because I think it really shows. When the Yankees get runs going early on, they tend to win games. But what we've seen, especially in the last series, they shut up past the 5th inning. You can't do that today against Ohtani, to say the least.
Yeah, the Yankees were very good in that Minnesota series about getting early runs, but their problem dating back to the final game of the Seattle series where they lost on a walk, well, not quite a walk-off, but a late home run, was they just couldn't get any offense going beyond the 5th or so inning. It's a great point. Voit was one of the Yankees that was actually able to produce, hitting in the 360s over the last 3 games, and he swings and misses for strike 3. No, strike 2.
Ohtani's going to be looking for another one. I'm not going to be surprised here if he's going right to a breaking pitch over the outside corner again.
Payoff pitch. Ohtani looking for strikeout number 6, and he has got it. A 3 strikeout inning for Shohei Ohtani. hitless of the Yankees as we go to the bottom of the second.
I don't think anyone can stop Ohtani right now. Again, continuing to get the punch-outs. I mean, he's just dominant right now.
Ohtani has faced 7. He's struck out 6. That's a pretty good start in my book. Heart of the order due up for Los Angeles. It's Pujols, Upton, and Andrelton Simmons all set to bat here in the bottom of the second. Jordan Montgomery wasn't horrible in the first inning. He allowed 1 base runner. Everybody else was retired, so it could be a pitcher's duel to start off this 3-game weekend set in Anaheim. Ball and a strike as he misses outside to the designated hitter. Pujols can't really do much in the field, and he never really could. His bat is all the Angels really are with him for. Pitch number 17 of Montgomery's night. And now it's 2-1.
You know, Aiden, I gotta ask, do you think there's a little bit of pressure perhaps in this outing for Jordan Montgomery, knowing that the Yankees earned through the bullpen the past series?
I think there's a pressure to start winning, and I think there's going to be a lot of fatigue on both ends. A ground ball to LeMahieu for out number 1. The Yankees had, 16 straight days. Well, we'll have 16 straight days without a day off. And within those 16 days, they will travel to Los Angeles, and then from Los Angeles to Seattle. It's been a very tough stretch, and it will continue for New York. Although we did mention they will come back and play Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Boston, a few of the weaker teams in baseball after they hit these next few series. They're up to Seattle after this, as Upton's count is 1-1. They're up to Seattle after this, so maybe you get a little bit lighter on the schedule, but the fatigue is certainly going to start wearing on these players. And Seattle, there'll be a little bit of motivation to get them back after Seattle took out their star closer and ended up hitting a go-ahead home run in the bottom of the 9th the last time the two played.
But I also wouldn't say necessarily the schedule gets a little bit easier, because then after that series, they'll host Tampa Bay at home. And we know the Rays right now have also been red hot, slowly closing in and working on the AL East division lead.
It's a very weird schedule. They're going to play some hot teams, but they have a couple of poor teams mixed in. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Boston at this point is considered a lackluster squad at this point. So you're going to have the hot teams, but they're lucky enough that they're going to have some poor teams peppered in. 2-2 to Upton, trying to get the second out of the inning, and a fly ball to left center. Over is Stanton, turns around and plays it off the wall. First hit of the night for Los Angeles, as Upton stands up heading into second base with a double.
That was a great piece of hitting there by Justin Upton, but I want to take note there of Giancarlo Stanton. Good job paying attention, trying to read where the ball was going to bounce off the fence. He knew it wasn't going over, and he worked his way, got the angle perfectly. If he played that wrong, Upton could have been looking for a triple, if not inside the park home run.
Upton is speedy, you're absolutely right. He could have jumped into second, or rather to third, if that ball was misplayed, and that's the plus of having a veteran outfielder like Stanton playing out in left. And I can't believe we're saying veteran, but that's the point where we're at. Ball and no strikes, and now it's 2 balls and no strikes to Simmons. They will not send Upton on the loose ball.
And this isn't going to be an easy at-bat at all. Simmons has really found an offensive push at this point in his career. Didn't start that way, but now he's really found it.
Simmons will start the game at shortstop and flies one high to left center field. Gardner is over at the track, and it's gone. We were complaining about Los Angeles not having enough offense for their star pitcher. Well, that has changed. A 2-0 start as Montgomery beginning to implode here in the second inning.
Yeah, and that time Simmons just got a little bit underneath that ball, but it carried. Perhaps a little bit of wind working its way towards left field. And I mean, he just got that one over the fence, 407 feet. You see that ball go high. It's almost like a fly ball. It did get a good exit velocity, 103.9, and just making itself bouncing right off the trees out there in left center.
It's difficult to hit it that far. That's one of the furthest spots of this ballpark you saw, 406 feet. That would have been probably a no-doubter anywhere else, including Yankee Stadium. It's Simmons' third home run, and now Brian Goodwin, one of just 2 Angels hitting above 300, trying to keep the offense going. Only 1 out here in the second. And Montgomery needs a easy out right now. Bouncing ball to second. LeMahieu charges across his body. 2 down, and that was huge. A great bounce back at bat for Montgomery.
And I'm seeing it right now for Montgomery in particular. He's pitching very well against the left-handed hitters for LA. He's struggling, it seems, throwing strikes, especially his changeup against the righties.
We're down to the 9 hole, and it's Max Stassi, the catcher. Ball 1, missing way inside, nearly down to the cleats. Hitting .245 with 9 RBIs. It's been a quiet start for him. He's not really a power hitter, but a good, consistent guy to put in the 9 spot because he is almost batting .250. Ball and a strike. And now a ball and 2 strikes. So Montgomery a pitch away from getting out of what has been a tough inning. Here in the second, he was mowing down batters in the first. But back-to-back hits, one of them was a home run. And now a 2-0 lead for Los Angeles. The Yankees have really struggled. In the beginning of that Seattle series, they looked great. 3 wins in a row, but the final game of the Seattle series and then all 3 in Minnesota and now potentially here in Los Angeles, they have just looked like a worn-out ball club. 3-2. Do it again, and keep in mind Montgomery's pitch count up to 35. Not horrible for this spot in the game, but you don't want it getting up to 40 by the end of 2 innings. Line drive to left. It is off the glove of Stanton, who tried to make a diving catch. On his way to second and safe is Max Stassi, so what should have been the end of the inning is now a very tough continuation for Jordan Montgomery.
And this is now a very smart mound decision here to come out and talk to Jordan Montgomery, try to calm him down. It's the 3rd extra base hit of the inning. Stanton just had it a little bit out of reach, and Stassi hitting on base. Now we head back to the top of the lineup for the second time this game is. Still takes a fastball outside.
After the error, it's La Stella, the leadoff man, who struck out back in the first. Man on second, chance for a 2-out rally. Los Angeles, who desperately needs a win, sitting 3 games under 500. And 4-6 back in the division. The AL West has been a hot spot, and I think it's only going to get hotter as we move into the summer months. Between Los Angeles, Houston, who's right behind them and getting hotter by the day, Oakland, who's already hot and leading the division. Those are 3 teams that could potentially be competing for a division title come September. Ball and 2 strikes to the leadoff man, La Stella. Here in the second. We will do it again.
You know, it's funny, Aiden, you mentioned how good those 3 teams are. I mean, you mentioned Mike Trout, how good of a year he is having. How about Yordan Alvarez as well?
2 balls and 2 strikes as he misses.
Alvarez, Major League leading in RBIs. He's already hit over 70. He's right there behind Trout in almost every statistic. And then you also look at the power numbers for Oakland.
2-2. Swing and a miss, and that will do it. But Simmons gets things going at the Big A. A 2-run shot, and the Angels looking to pull off a big upset, take the early lead here in Anaheim. 7, 8, and 9, the last of the Yankee order due up as we welcome you back to Anaheim with Tim Moore. I'm Aiden Blank. An absolute pleasure to have you with us on what in the game is a Friday night and an overcast one at that, but in reality is a picturesque Friday afternoon where I am in Fairfield, Connecticut. Gardner starts off with a foul ball down the line. Ohtani has struck out 4 batters in a row dating back to the first inning. He's faced 7 and struck out 6. And he can do 8 if he can get one by Gardner here on the 0-2.
It's been really aggressive early on these pitches. I think Gardner may be another strikeout victim.
He'll fight for at least one more pitch, fouls it off, and we do it again at 0-2. A great crowd on hand to watch Ohtani try to battle the Yankees. These are the nights it's important that you win. You try to get the fan base on board, as Ohtani with a rare miss inside and bumps Gardner off the plate. These are the nights where you get a packed house. It's important that you compete and that you win to try and get the fan base on board, even though you're 3 games under 500, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, the way the AL West has been streaky right now, just like the AL East, anyone is in race for the division early on.
Gardner gets the first hit of the night for the New York Yankees, back up the middle on a base hit.
And that was the worst pitch of the day from Ohtani. He hung the breaking ball right down the middle. And we know Brett Gardner, he's done this all his career. Anything that hangs up, he'll hit it right back where it came from. A good piece of hitting there by Brett Gardner starts the Yankees on with the runner on base. Something they didn't see too often yesterday against Minnesota.
The leadoff man on for New York, and now it's the .265 hitting Mike Tauchman. Fouls it off, 0-1.
Tauchman, when you came into the start of the season, Aiden, did not think he was going to be the DH, but he stepped up pretty well in that role.
Misses on an outside fastball, and now it's 0-2.
Another 0-2 start on the count for Ohtani here. Let's see if he goes to the breaking ball.
Ohtani versus Tauchman, and the 0-2 down low. It got by Stassi, but he was able to keep it in front of him. That was the most important part, to keep a speedy Gardner from jumping over to second. 1-2, high fly, left field. Upton will settle and make the catch, preventing a Gardner tag. And there's one away here in the third.
That time Tauchman was just a little bit late on it. Ended up just creating a routine fly ball for Upton out there in left field. Now Chris Iannetta steps in. Now I'll tell you, Aiden, Iannetta's done a pretty good job coming in behind the plate for the Yankees since the Sanchez injury.
Gardner goes, Gardner steals. We talk about it all the time. His speed, probably the best thing about him, and he is one of the only remaining members of that 2009 World Championship team because of it. He's certainly developed that power as he's gotten older and older, which is a little odd, but he's developed the power, but the real go-to with him is the speed. 1 ball and 1 strike. We'll see how this affects Ohtani. He hasn't had a base runner all night, and he certainly hasn't had one this close to scoring. 2-1.
The Yankees, yesterday, when they did have these opportunities, they did take advantage of it. But you go back to Brett Gardner, you remember many years back when both him and Jacoby Ellsbury were battling for the stolen base title in the American League. Instead, Gardner hasn't really stolen too many bases in a season, but when he does, he makes it matter.
2-1 becomes 2-2. Iannetta trying to keep the Yankee rally alive. He swings and misses on a beautiful slider for Ohtani's 6th strikeout. He may end the night with double digits in the strikeout column.
Yeah, Ohtani, again, continuing to pound the outside. That's just where he loves to go to. First few times it was the fastball. This time the slider. He's just very effective over the outside of the plate with all his pitches.
So now we're back to the top of the order. DJ LeMahieu strike one. Both of these teams have gotten back to the top of the order fairly quickly. It took the Angels less than 2 innings. And the Yankees here in the top of the third back to their leadoff man, 0-2.
And again, keep on mentioning another 0-2 count for Ohtani. But this is someone you don't want to throw to the outside portion of the plate to. DJ's really good at taking him opposite field.
He goes inside, and LeMahieu fends it off. We'll do it again at 0-2. DJ is really broken out of his shell in New York over the past 2 seasons. Came from Colorado, fairly unknown. Hooks down the line, and this is a fair ball. Goodwin will trot to it and won't be able to get there in time. The run will score Gardner. And on to second with an RBI double is DJ LeMahieu. He cuts the Angel lead in half.
Nate, no surprise on this one. Runner in scoring position plus DJ LeMahieu at the plate ends up resulting in an RBI double. DJ continues to be hot with runners on base, and he inside out of that one. Took that one opposite field. A pitch that was outside, and a very good job. Excellent piece of hitting. Again, I said before, don't throw him a breaking ball outside. That's exactly what Ohtani did.
You mentioned that you don't want to throw anything to the outside part of the plate as Ohtani overthrows it. LeMahieu not quite fast enough to go to third, but you mentioned don't throw anything in the outside part of the plate. Well, the ball was taken to right field, so he really made a fatal error in that at-bat. And remember, he was up 0-2. He had a chance on 2 different pitches to retire LeMahieu for the second time tonight via the strikeout. He works Torres off the plate. Ohtani's been very effective so far. 15 strikes on 22 pitches. He has been throwing I wouldn't say a gem because he has been hit so far here in the third, but he has been fairly consistent, to say the least. How about that breaking ball?
Well, one thing he reminds me a little bit of when Ohtani has his struggles. They only seem to come in 1 inning, almost like Masahiro Tanaka.
And with a pitcher like that, it's just important to minimize the impact of that inning. Either get him out if it's late in the game, or just kind of take some time, calm him down, and minimize, only give up a run or 2 so that your team can rebound from it and it doesn't decide the game.
He's going to have to be careful here. Gleyber, again, back-to-back games with home runs, but he's also very effective like DJ with runners in scoring position.
2-2, and we're going to do it again. Torres, only Yankee who made contact with the baseball in the first 2 innings. He lined out to left field and fends off another. 2-2 again.
And Gleyber's putting together a good at-bat. 8 pitches. We're going to see who wins the battle. This is a good one.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Count worked full. 3-2 to the Yankees 2-hitter. Ohtani looking for another strikeout. He's not going to get it. But a diving stop by Goodwin in right field. Brian Goodwin with a diving catch and a 2-1 lead for the Angels as we head to the bottom of the third.
So how about that catch there by Goodwin? For a second, I thought he dropped the ball when he went out full stride and showed some Gold Glove potential out there, keeping this game tied, or rather a 1-run ball game and preventing it from being a tie.
We go to the third in Anaheim. Get a look at this hitting stats for the Angels. The stats don't really coincide with how they've been throwing the ball and playing defensively or how they've been winning. Because they're 3 games under 500, but those stats would make you think that they're right in the race.
All about a game of runs.
Ball and no strikes. Fletcher with a line drive to left that to right rather, that dunks down on Judge and gets in for a base hit.
You know, Aiden, the only reason why I see you and I mentioned it's about a game of runs. You remember back 2 years ago for the Yankees, he had such a good year, but what had happened? That Boston, who ended up overshadowing them, not only going on to win a World Series, but having a 100+ win season. And why was that? Because when the Yankees faced struggling ball teams, you just weren't able to keep the momentum alive. Boston kept on going on big runs, ended up winning 9 games in a row, 10 games in a row at one point. Those losses end up adding up when you're not going on streaks.
0-1, misses inside and at the feet. Trout, as we mentioned previously, the one consistent part of this Angels lineup. He's been consistently great. Ground ball to short. And Torres will not be able to make the play. It is an error, and Trout reaches.
A very rare mistake there by Glaber. He just overran the ball and took it right off his forehand. So it'll be an E6. Now runners in scoring position, and suddenly for the meat of this lineup with Anthony Rendon up.
Angels with a 2-1 lead, and Rendon hitting cleanup. First pitch, outside, 1-0. Trout on first, and Fletcher on second. Montgomery worked into some trouble last inning, gave up a 2-run home run, trying to avoid that same fate here in the third. The 1-0. Inside strike, ball and 1 strike.
He needs to live there, produce a ground ball for a double play.
Misses outside, and now it's 2-1.
50 pitches that time after that last one for Montgomery. Pitch count slowly creeping up with good ABs here for the Anaheim Angels.
It'll be a 2-1 to the cleanup man Rendon, World Series champion last year, and now it's 3-1. Back toward the middle, LeMahieu to Torres, an athletic throw to first, and a huge double play. The runner does move to third, but that was exactly what the doctor ordered for the Yankees and for Jordan Montgomery.
Indeed, good pitch there by Gumby. Ended up causing him to go opposite field on the ground. The Yankees play it perfectly. LeMahieu, Torres, and back over to Voit at first. Now they face a struggling Albert Pujols. The runner on third.
Ball and no strikes to Albert Pujols. Went 0 for 4 in their last game. You just can't have that from your 4 or 5 hitters. Beautiful night in Anaheim. It was a little overcast as we started, and looks like those clouds have kind of made way to a clear Friday night. Temperatures should be pretty warm, as it is almost June out on the West Coast. 1-2. Fouled off, and we'll do it again.
Pujols that time just got a piece of it. He does hit better against left-handed pitching, though, throughout his career. You know, he's an extra base hit machine when he does make contact.
2-2 to Albert Pujols. Ground ball, LeMahieu makes the play, turns, and throws out Pujols to end the inning. So the Angels leave a man on third, but the Yankees still trailing by just a run as we head to the fourth in the opener of this 3-game set. Aiden Blank, Tim Moore back with you from Anaheim on a beautiful Friday night. It's Judge, Stanton, and Duhar, the three that have really caused some damage, or at least have potential to cause some damage in this Yankee lineup. So we head to the fourth. First of a 3-game weekend series, and then
Your attention, please.
the Yanks will play during the week in Seattle. Hopefully they can pull off the sweep and then come home with the momentum. Jaime Barria will come in for Los Angeles, and we are not entirely sure why.
Well, the only thing I can think why is that Ohtani's stamina has gone down again. His offense as well. So I'm very, very shocked that they took him out this early.
Judge is thrown out at first
Now back.
for out number 1.
Giancarlo Stanton.
And now it's Giancarlo Stanton. He is yet to reach. Struck out in his first at bat and really was baffled by Ohtani. We're going to get the final line to you, but Ohtani finished with a really strong night.
I'm still very surprised, Aiden, by this decision, to say the least. Not expected, but perhaps this is the reason why Ohtani only has 2 wins on the year.
My stream froze again, so Tim's going to have to take over again.
The third base.
We Stanton going down on a breaking ball from Maeda for a strikeout.
There we
will be the 5-hitter of Miguel Andujar, who will step in.
Just had to rejoin. Here's Andujar and misses outside. So Barria gets 2 quick outs. You wouldn't want this inning to go very long. And obviously not the call he thought he was going to get. It'll be a 1-0. Now it's 2-0. Pair of home runs in the last 6 games for Andujar, who is, again, one of the Yankees that has been consistently good over these past few series. 2-1. And now it's 3-1.
3 balls, 1 strike.
And Andujar in his career in hitters counts, it's where his power tends to come from. If he sees a fastball here high in the zone, he'll unload on one. "3-1 offering, and Barria gets strike number 2 on a high fastball. Just a little bit out in front. Now it'll be a full count. 93 miles an hour from Barria on his fastball.
Take it,
Walks him on the 3-2 pitch. So he gets 2 quick outs, but then walks Andujar. He's not going to want to make that a habit. Two outs, and now it's the cleanup. No, the 6-hitter, Luke Voigt. Ball 1, way down low on the breaking ball.
Voigt, yesterday we saw him as well show a lot of power. He doesn't really hit a home run in a few games. He's really shined in the extra base hits total.
2-0. Barria with a fairly strong start, but a long drive to left field, and that ball is gone. We are tied in Los Angeles. Or rather, the Yankees take the lead on a Voigt home run, and they are starting to get their mojo back.
Now, unfortunately, because my stream has blanked out, I didn't get to see the initial swing, but I'll try to guide it here, right here for you. The pitch is thrown in by Bria, and wow, I'll tell you what, Voit went down and got all of that one. And I mean, how about that? 440 plus feet, and Voit knew it straight off the bat. Needless to say, as John Sterling used to say, Voit hit that one to Detroit. He really did that time, nearly almost in the $1 million circle.
So for the first time tonight, the Yankees have a lead, and they lead it 3-2 as Gardner stands in. Singled and scored 1 of 3 for the Yankees in his opening at bat, and now the count 1-1.
And Gardner was the one who initially started the minor rally for the Yankees just a few innings back. Again, you mentioned getting a hit and ended up scoring. The Yankees all of a sudden now have a burst of momentum, Aiden.
Down the third baseline and foul. So now Gardner's got to protect with 2 strikes.
Do you think LA is regretting taking out Ohtani?
The question is, why did they take him out, I think, still? Because if they took him out for an injury, obviously they're not regretting it. But that's one of those things where the show would tell us if he got injured. So I'm wondering what the thought process was behind that. A full count with 2 out to Gardner. And a little bouncing ball. This could be tough for Fletcher across his body. And got him to end the 4th. But Luke Voit with a huge home run, and the Yankees lead for the first time tonight. Back from Angels Stadium of Anaheim, you can get a nice view of what we're looking at behind the broadcast booth.
Also get a good look at Mike Trout as well. This Angels dugout. The Angels down by 1 now, though. 3-2 score Yankees lead going to the bottom of the 4th as Justin Upton will step in.
6, 7, and 8 due up for New York in this inning. Beg your pardon, due up for Los Angeles. Upton, Simmons, Goodwin, and then the 9-hitter Stasi. Bouncing ball foul, 0-1.
And a good pitch count at this point for Montgomery, 59 pitches after that first one here in the bottom of the 4th. All they need is really 6 innings out of him, Aiden.
Now 0-2 as he got a very lucky breaking ball that was called for strike 2. And the 0-2 offering is bounced foul. The Angels hitters, I think, have done a good job of protecting the plate. They're not taking anything. I don't think he's gotten a called 3rd strike yet. Everything's been swinging. If they're going down with a nice hard swing. To Torres, it's short. Voit picks it out of the dirt for out number 1.
And Glaber making up from that error he had a few innings back. Goes there and makes a good play on the backhand, fires it over to first. Glaber's really shined the leather since the Yankees have lost Edie Gregorius at that shortstop position.
Some poor memories from Montgomery as Simmons stands in. He's responsible for the only 2 Angel runs so far. Hit a home run in his last at-bat in the 2nd. Again, the only Angel runs have come from his stick. Fouled off, and the count 0-2.
And Simmons, I mentioned the last time he's up, he's really found his offense in his career of late, and he's really swinging the bat well again this season.
He's down on strikes, and 2 quick outs for Montgomery, who is pitching with a lead for the first time tonight.
That's what the Yankees needed again right there, getting a punch out to make it 2. Now you're going to face the lefty of Goodwin, which is a pretty good matchup for the left-handed Montgomery.
0-1 to Goodwin, who grounded out back in the 2nd. A lot of pop balls still to come I got a second game. You're not done with me until around 4 today. I got Washington and Philadelphia coming up next, 0-2. That should be a marquee pitching matchup. Max Scherzer and Aaron Nola, and two of the top 3 teams in the National League East. Montgomery strikes out Goodwin, and we are through 4. On to the 5th here in Anaheim, and the Yankees leading 3-2. Back from Anaheim, Yankees getting hacks in the 5th. Angels warming up 2 in the bullpen. This is going to become a game for their bullpen if Berea is unable to finish innings like he was last inning. Gave up 2 more runs, and the 2 most important runs so far with 2 outs. Ball and no strikes. Winds and deals. Breaking ball over the middle, 1-1. That was his pitch, really. If he had just waited, Tauchman could have taken that for a ride. The 1-1, and now it's 1-2.
I don't think Tauchman's going to get another pitch like that. Berea, 23 pitches after an inning of work. Not too bad, but for a reliever, want to have a little bit lower of a pitch count.
Bouncing ball to third. And they go across the diamond for out number 1.
The batter, the catcher, Chris.
Berea, despite allowing that 2-run home run to Luke Voigt, has done a good job, by the way, of coming in and providing more ground balls. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's his 3rd ground ball out of the 4 he has.
Down to the bottom of the order, and Chris Iannetta, the 9-hitter, fouls off his first pitch. Some intriguing matchups today on ML Bot Ball. Washington and Philadelphia, probably the matchup of the day, besides maybe this one. Then Toronto, Baltimore, Cincinnati, and the Cubs. The Dodgers and Mets, which always seems to be fun. Minnesota, Chicago is likely the matchup of the day. Kenta Maeda versus Gio Gonzalez. And then Detroit and Arizona. Arizona coming off a nightmarish 3-game series with San Diego. All of them seemed to come right down to the wire, and 2 of them went to extra innings.
I was gonna say Aiden is nightmarish for Arizona or nightmarish for Dugo, who had to call 19 innings of one of those games.
And then the next one nearly went to extras too.
The batter, the second baseman, DJ LeMahieu.
It'll be a walk granted. The 9-hitter of Iannetta. And now it'll be DJ LeMahieu who will step in, Aiden.
Yeah, LeMahieu has yet to contribute tonight. He's 1 for 2. He had a double. So rather, he did contribute. I stumbled over my own words there. 1 for 2. There's strike 1 on the outer half.
It brought in the first run of the game for the Yankees. Obviously, that 2-run home run from Voigt put them back up top.
Swinging a ground ball, stopped by Rendon, and that will do it here in the 5th. The Yankees got a runner to second, not much more. We are on to the last of the 5th,
Actually,
and Tim's going to take over.
2 outs, Aiden. 2 more to go.
That's what happens when you unjoin and then have to rejoin. You miss some of the game.
Happens.
And that's why we have you, to make sure that I don't prematurely end an inning. A runner on second for Gleyber Torres. He's 0 for 2. Ball and a strike.
Gleyber's had some good hacks in his first 2 at-bats. Eager to see if he'll get it going again. Here's the 1-1. 1 hit on the ground. Diving is Simmons over to first and the inning. So LA escapes trouble, Aiden, right there after another Andrelton Simmons diving play. Yankees up 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. LA bats more to come. I mean, just look at that play by Simmons. In that inning was 4 runs, no hits, a walk. Actually, rather, no runs on 1 hit, no runner left on. Hit to the bottom of the 5th inning. Watching Major League Baseball on Twitch.tv.
And leading up for the Angels, the catcher, Matt Castillo.
More red and black here as we welcome back to Major League Baseball. Bottom of the 5th, Max Stassi up to the plate. As the first pitch from Montgomery is taken away with the count 1-0. Montgomery to this point, 69 pitches in the ball game, and that's a 70th called for strike 1-1. Eating the Yankees only really need Montgomery to go about 6 and 11. The 1-1's fouled off. Now it's 71. So he's again coming back from that Tommy John surgery. I think the Yankees will hold him to a pitch count.
It'll be interesting to see. Ohtani's out of the game. The sensible thing would be to hold him to a pitch count, although he's been very effective. I'm not sure I would want to mess with that yet, especially with very little bullpen.
It's soft ground ball to Anderhar, fired over the first for the first down.
Number 9, Tommy Wacha.
So Montgomery, and yet again another ground ball out. Now he'll face the top of the lineup, as it'll be the left-handed hitting Tommy LaStella who steps in. LaStella last season made an all-star, and what's been a turnaround career, to say the least. He continues now to hit for average efficiently going into the season. Kind of a surprise. No one expected him to come out of nowhere, basically, from last season.
Yeah, he's been ice cold tonight, though. 2 strikeouts. He's 0 for 2. It has not been his night.
He's hit this season much better against the right-handed pitching compared to the left. Oh, above a 280 coming into tonight. Here's a 2-0. That one hit high and deep will carry foul. It's a 2-1. That's taken low the count 3-1. Looks like David Fletcher is on deck for LA. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That's taken outside ball 4. So Fletcher will step up to the dish, the second baseman for the Angels. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Almost 17 RBIs on the season for Fletcher. He hits for pretty good contact. First pitch, called for a strike, the count 0-1. Fletcher, or rather Eden, when I look at Fletcher at the plate, he reminds me of a little bit. Kind of like Ian Kinsler.
Yeah, he's very much built like Kinsler. Very small, but certainly athletic. And he can really swing the bat. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Singled in his last at bat and got all the way to 3rd.
It is the 81st pitch from Montgomery is taken high to count 2-1. But Kinsler earlier on in his career had a lot more pop compared to what Fletcher has in terms of the power numbers, which are very consistently on base and being effective. It'll be a 2-1 in his count pitch, that one high and in, 3-1. And if Fletcher gets on base, I wonder if the Yankees start getting someone up in the pen, because you have hot hitting defending MVP and Mike Trout on deck.
Best case scenario here, they get a nice double play and don't have to face Trout at all this inning. And Montgomery isn't quite up to 100. I think I would keep him in for a little bit as long as he can. If he can get out of this inning, I'll give him at least one more.
The 3-2, that's inside ball 4, so back-to-back walks for the Angels, and now it'll be Trout who steps up to the dish. Trout hits very well, just like DJ LeMahieu on the opposite side for the Yankees, with the runners in scoring position. Trout's 0 for 1, also walked his last time up.
What a big opportunity for LA. Try to score right now. This is what we talk about. Their offense has failed to produce in these kind of situations in the past. They need to do it now, and Trout is going to be the one to lead them.
A 333 with runners in scoring position as the 0-1s fouled off the count 0-2. Iffy Rendon, who hits lefties well, sits on deck. And Silver Slugger last season as well. Huge acquisition. The 0-2. Horns outside, the count now 1-2. Seems like Aiden Montgomery really struggling in this past inning and a half to locate that changeup. Starting to hang them a bunch here at 87 pitches.
Yeah, and you don't want to hang anything with Trout. He'll hit it to the moon.
It's a curveball called strike 3 on the inside corner to get Trout down looking. I'll tell you, that's a very rare sight to see Mike Trout go down looking. But regardless, the second out, D'Anthony Rendon will step in here in the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, and that was big, but this is precisely what the Angels were planning for when they signed Rendon. Trout wasn't able to produce, so now Rendon's going to produce. You have two sluggers in the lineup. One of them's bound to hit something.
As you look at the stat line, 1,049 hits in the career of Anthony Rendon. Here's the 1-0. One swung on and missed the count, 1-1. See it by inning. Montgomery, 22 pitches in the inning, more balls than strikes, but that's via, again, 2 walks. Here's the 1-1. It's outside, the count now 2-1. All Montgomery needs to do is get out of this inning to have at least a chance of a decision when the Yankees bullpen provides. 2-1, that one's foul. The count goes to 2-2. We'll try it again. It'll be a 2-2 pitch now from Montgomery. One outside, 3-2. And now the runners, it will release. He's hit. They have a chance to score in 2, in fact. Well, will easily score 1, but a extra base hit will score 2. It'll be a payoff pitch. And my screen has gone blank, but it looks like he has struck it out.
He certainly did.
That will end the inning. So Montgomery escapes trouble. No runs, no hits, and 2 runners left on, virtue of walks. We head to the top of the 6th inning. The Yankees lead 3-2. You're watching Major League Baseball on Twitch.tv.
You know, I would give Montgomery at least one more inning. That was an impressive inning he just put together. Even though it didn't start the way he wanted, he was able to bear down, strike out arguably the 2 most dangerous hitters in that lineup. And now he's fighting.
Indeed, as the first pitch to Judge is blowing away the count 1-0. Berea at 30-plus pitches. But you mentioned Montgomery, Aiden. Obviously you want him to go out for another inning. Would you really want to risk it at 93-plus pitches for him?
I think you give him a short leash. I think he certainly earned at least another inning. If he wants to come out for another inning, I would give it to him. I think he certainly earned it after what he just put together last inning. I think he definitely deserves it.
Well, we shall see. It'll be a 2-0. That one taken high. 3-0. Aaron Judge. And for the Yankees goes 3-4-5. Judge, Stanton, and Duhar. Here's the 3-0. There's a strike. First one is Judge. Full hitters count the count 3-1.
Judge has grinded out the last 2 times and struck out. He has not had a great night.
Judge has had a little bit of a struggle, especially in that Minnesota series. Here's the 3-1. Here's another strike called on the outside corner, and the count's now full. 3-2. It's taking low ball 4. So the Yankees have a leadoff runner on. Aiden, the last time the Yankees had a leadoff runner on, it ended up resulting a score. It was a 2-run home run from Luke Points. We go back as well. DJ LeMahieu put home runner in scoring position ended up getting on base, and that was Brett Gardner. Here's Stanton. He comes in. His pitch called for a strike in the count 0-1.
It would be nice to get some runs here if you are the Yankees. You really want some run support. Stanton is 0 for 2.
Stanton, as we've seen the last few games, he's up big towards the end of games for the Yankees. Here's 2-0. Rather, the 1-1. There for a strike 1 and 2. It'll be Maeda who again deals. One hit on the ground, foul by Stanton, and they'll try it yet again. Long reliever now at 45 pitches in. As the 1-2. Just miss outside the count 2-2. Once again, taking out Ohtani's surprising, but Maeda's done a very good job. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one hit on the ground. It'll be a base hit. So back-to-back runners on. Judge walks, Stanton single, and now it'll be Miguel Andujar who will step to the dish with the runner in scoring position for the Yankees.
Andujar walked in his last at-bat. Scored a run.
And obviously scored that run via the home run of Luke Voit, who, by the way, sits on deck. Yankees need to take advantage here. The first pitch on the ground down the middle. Estella Fields flips to Simmons over to first, and it'll be a double play. They draw it up perfectly, a 4-6-3, and there's 2 out the inning.
That said, he may have not had the at-bat turn out as he would have liked, and that almost snuck up the middle, but Judge moves to third, chance for some insurance, and in this game, runs have been hard to come by. You're only getting them on the big fly, so a run here, scoring Judge would be very helpful as we move along late into this game, and obviously Voit with the no-doubter all the way up almost onto that nice landscape out in center field. He had a good day so far, at least.
He missed that home run in the can for $1 million by a few feet, and Voit this time again hits this one to left center field. Looking is Upton, he'll chase it as it bounces off the wall. Voit is on fire yet again. It will be an RBI double as he slides into second. 4-2 Yankees lead. Voit has come to life late. Have the best of nights yesterday against Minnesota, but the game before that as well. His offense was electric, and he is really hitting well.
Yeah, we talked about it. The top of it was almost a reverse thing in that Minnesota series. The top of the order wasn't doing much. It was the bottom of the order that was carrying things, and the 6-hitter Voit has got a home run and an RBI double. He's having a very, very good night. He's 2 for 3 as Brian Buchter is going to come into the game for Los Angeles.
Buchter will come in 7 appearances, 1 for 1 in save opportunities. Only pitched 5 innings, however, on the year as the left-hander. First pitch to Gardner, high into the air. Upton will move over to left center field. Make the catch. The Yankees tack on one more run via a Luke Voit RBI double. We one run, 2 hits, and a runner left on as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Yankees lead 4-2. You're watching Major League Baseball on Twitch.tv. Welcome you back. Los Angeles, Tim Moran in black as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Chad Green comes in, Aiden. You have on him.
And leading up for the
Yeah, he came in the other day when Chapman got hurt to close the game. And now he's going to come in and try and become a long reliever. We'll see how many innings. If they can get 2-3 good innings out of him, that'll be a successful night. And again, the big question has been who's going to close for New York, and they haven't really had that problem because in the 3 games Chapman's been out, they haven't really needed a closer. They've lost 2 of them. So we'll see. Maybe tonight they need to finally go to that closer role, and we're going to see where Boone's head is at when it comes to the closing position.
It'll be a 1-1 from Green. The one outside, 2-1. Actually, and I will get correction on that. In game 2 of the series, the Yankees did go to the closer. They went to Tommy Canley, ended up ultimately blowing the save. The Yankees took the lead in the bottom of the 8th, blew it in the top of the 9th, and then ended up walking off via Gleyber Torres home run in the bottom of the inning.
So the question tonight then becomes, do you keep it with Canley, or